Hello, I wanted to show you this super quick sort of meals in a flash dinner that I think is really yummy and great as well. It's called I probably can't pronounce it properly, but New Rao Mien. Anyway, we call it beef noodles, but it's a great recipe on Cookidoo. So I'll just get started. So when you're in a recipe, if you scroll down, you can see the info on the ingredients and the steps, nutrition guide and everything. But I'm ready, so I'm just going to press start. And it's asking me to put a bowl on top. So sometimes you can put a bowl on top of your Thermomix, turn the scales on and weigh things into a bowl so that you're pre-prepared. So this is one because we're going to be marinating the beef, which I've already chopped into, pretty thin slices. So that should all be there. And the scales had come up, and so I can see we wanted 300 grams of thinly sliced beef fillet. I cut a bit of fat off, so I'm at 293, and that's totally okay. So now we're going to add, there's two different soy sauces we want. So we want dark soy sauce and light soy sauce, so a teaspoon of each. There is a difference in flavor between the two. If you've only got one kind of soy sauce, that's okay. Your noodles are still going to be great. But if you want to be authentic and do a lot of Asian cooking, it is a good idea to um, get both kinds. Sorry, I was just reading the recipe properly. I actually want a tablespoon of the light, and it was only a teaspoon of the dark. So I'll add some more because 4 teaspoons is a tablespoon in Australia. Yeah, so, and we also want a teaspoon of sugar. So yeah, it is a good idea to have both soy sauces, but not the end of the world. And then if you need a gluten-free or sort of more additive-free soy sauce, tamari is a really good one to get. And now we're going to add half a teaspoon of the white pepper. So get my rose gold measure spoons here. I want to, because I'm reading backwards, I want to make sure I do this properly. And white pepper also has a different flavor to black pepper, but again, if it's all you've got, but black pepper is stronger, so see how you go with that. We want 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. I love sesame oil, but it is very strong, so don't do more than what the recipe says. And we want 2 teaspoons of corn flour. Yeah, I thought that's all we needed. So, and you can use a different thickener if you don't have corn flour, like you could use tapioca or potato starch or whatever, but something that's a nice starchy flour. Okay, so that's everything for our marinade, and we're going to stir to combine and set aside to marinate for 15 minutes. So I'll just give this a little stir. And so because it's only 15 minutes, I'm not going to bother putting it in the fridge. Beef is actually good cooked at room temperature. But if you're going to be marinating it for a really long time, obviously you need it in the fridge for food safety. So see how you go with that. And so that's our quickly stirred marinade there. I'll just set aside. And in that time as well, what I'm going to do is boil the kettle. But I use another Thermomix on kettle mode, so I'll turn that on. So because we want to cook the noodles and we need boiling water for that. So yeah, I'll come back when we're ready for the next step. Okay, so I have put my rice noodles, I don't know if you can see them, they're just plain flat wide rice noodles in my oval server because that's where I'm going to cook my noodles. This is my favorite place to cook noodles, things like that. The oval server is a really good shape. It's 2.5 liters. And for those who don't know about our thermal serving bowls, they are double insulated stainless steel and they keep your food hot or cold for a few hours. So these are amazing to have. If you don't have one, talk to your consultant about how you can get them because they're awesome to have and they come in a few different shapes and sizes. Just make sure it's all submerged there. Cool. So that is just going to sit aside to cook while we carry on with the recipe so that it can all be happening at the same time. I've got too much stuff on my bench. Put that over there. Okay, and we carry on. So, yeah. So now I'm a little bit of a cheat in the kitchen. If you've seen some of my videos before, this recipe asks us to have onion and ginger cut in thin slices before we carry on. I'm not about it. I'm going to chop my ginger in the Thermomix for a few seconds. I'm not about doing it by hand. So to do that, I go out of it by pressing home and come to my speed circle, and I'm going to turn up to speed 7. Cool. And then I'll add my onion and let the Thermomix chop that, and then I'll carry on. So if you want it to look perfect, sure, you could slice your onion by hand, but I don't care about that. So, oops, I accidentally pressed the reverse button. So I'm just going to go up to speed 6 for the onion. It's for like 1.5 seconds and have a look. I need a new spatula because my other one has beef on it. So you can see there my onion. If I just show you, it's finely chopped instead of thinly sliced. And that is good for me. And because I've just done it really quickly, hopefully you can see there the juices of the onion have not come out because I did it so fast. Well, you can't really see what I mean, but I haven't stewed it. Like, it's not minced. Stewing was the wrong word. I haven't minced it so that the liquid in the onion hasn't come out. So yeah, so now we'll add some oil. The recipe says to use vegetable oil. I'm just using extra virgin olive oil because that's my oil of choice. Just use whatever you like to use. We're going to add in our beef and the marinade so it can all go in. All that extra sauce will be in there. So looking good in there. And so now we cook that for, I think it's 5 minutes. This time, because we're going above 95 degrees, we're going to put our simmer basket on top. And that's cooking, 5 minutes, 120 degrees. Speed soft on reverse. If I just show you. This is what we're doing. And to look ahead, because now you can use that time to get organized for the next part of the recipe. So I'll go to the recipe detail. And I can see that next I am going to want to get out my spring onions, some bean sprouts, and sort of salt, chives, those types of things. Or if you wanted to quickly just look ahead, you can press the preview button and see what's happening next. So yeah, I'll let that happen while I pause the video. Okay, that is finished, so I will go to the next step. You can see, wants us to give it a bit of a stir. No problems. Oh, it smells so good. Okay. Yeah, delicious. Okay, so also just gonna make sure it's not sticking to the bottom. Okay, and we carry on. So we're adding another teaspoon of the dark soy sauce. So yeah, I hadn't put those away. And we want, I'm pretty sure, a tablespoon again of the light soy sauce. This time I'll use a proper tablespoon. And some salt, add a pinch in. And some spring onions. Now, one thing it is going to ask for is chives, and I'm not a huge chive fan, so I'm just going to skip that. And that's okay to do. You can skip whatever you don't want to use, or substitute it with something else. So yep, putting in some fresh bean sprouts, and Yes, this is the chives that I'm skipping. But what I do add instead of chives is a whole heap of pak choy, whatever will fit in the bowl, because we know that that will, as it cooks, it will condense down. You can see my bowl is very full right now. That's okay because it's going to condense down, and I'm sort of still within the max line. But so this only cooks for another 5 minutes. You can see how quick this dish is, and most of it is you out of the kitchen. So there was cooking the noodles and the beef simultaneously. The only thing is marinating ahead of time. But I have done this before where I haven't done that. So you can just get this done in a really big hurry, this recipe. But yeah, cooking the noodles at the same time as the dish speeds it up. And so what I'll do, if these are ready, um, so I'll strain that out into my Varoma, and then put the noodles in here, back in the thermoserver, staying hot while the rest of this cooks, and it's ready to serve. Hey, just while that's happening, it's not ready yet, but I came back on because I was doing this while this is cooking, and I thought maybe this might be interesting for you. The Mix Shop, Thermomix Mix Shop website sells these amazing Vaxil containers. It's bags, this size container or a bigger one. And so with those bean sprouts that I'm not using, I thought just in the interest of low waste, I just wanted to show you that you can keep these really handily. So I'm using this Vaxil wand, and there's a little nozzle. Yeah, it just popped. So now I know it's ready and all the oxygen's out of there. The nozzle is there. No, that way. You can see it's concave in now instead of convex. I hope I've got those terms right. So that means that's done. It only takes a few seconds to take the oxygen out of these containers. So now this will last, I don't know how long, but let's test it and see. I can get back to you. But I had half an avocado in a vac sealed bag from a class I did 2 weeks ago, but I forgot about the avocado, and it lasted 2 weeks, and it was still amazing, perfect avocado. So yeah, these vac seal stuff is really good. Okay, that's finished. So that means dinner's ready. Seriously, so quick and easy, this recipe. You can see it's all there. So I'll press, see what it says, but it just says transfer into the bowl with the noodles, stir to combine and serve. So I've got my drained noodles that were just sitting in there, and that's the stir fry. You can see the pak choy condensed down a lot. So that's just my own addition. I always like to try and add veggies in wherever I can. So that's not part of the recipe, so totally optional. Just scraping out there. Some of the bean sprouts have wrapped a little bit around the blades, but so sometimes things like scraping out of the bowl can take a little bit of practice, but there we go. Got it all out now. Just a little bit of maneuvering with your spatula. I really like these FlexCore spatulas that you can get again from the Mix Shop, but the spatula that comes with your Thermomix is also great. Whatever. So now I would put some water in here and come and do a pre-clean, because I love doing pre-clean, but you don't need to see me doing that. I'll just give this a bit of a stir. It's, you don't have to, you can kind of just serve it as is, and once you're serving it out with your tongs into the bowls, it'll make sure you get some noodles and some of the stir fry mixture. But yeah, this, oh, it's stirring very easily anyway. And there we have it. If I can show you there, I'll post a picture. Enjoy.